Legendary! Launch attack! Mega kill! Double kill!
Silence reigns over the darkness.
I'm a run. You destroyed a turret. Launch attack.
Betrayal.
Initiate retreat.
Their hands are stained with my people.
Attack. Launch attack.
Destruction!
Down. Requesting backup. Destroyed a turret. Launch attack.
Malaysia
Has been slain.
official
Request back.
My spears never miss.
Understood.
Unleash your style. Official snacking legend. Feel the crunch. Snack like a legend. Thank you to all our sponsors. Your support, MPL Malaysia 612.
Okay,
Selamat kembali ke MPL Malaysia musim ke-12, minggu pertama hari ketiga. Anda bersama dengan saya Rose, host anda sepanjang musim ini. Dan sekarang kita sudah berada dekat match kedua untuk hari ini. Manakala kita
The
akan
spear of
saksikan
attack.
Selangor Red Giants yang akan menentang Red Esports.
stream lagi pun.
Saya
Stream
nak
memang.
tanya, Dewan Sri Putra Merah
Wah,
yang lagi cerah.
Banget.
Alright.
Spear of destruction!
The players are now
Our turret has been destroyed.
Red Esports.
Our turret is under attack.
Esports.
Kembali dengan penuh yakin dan bersemangat.
Banyak
Membawa
MPL.
masuk bakat baru ke dalam
Kau lah.
pasukan. Exhort bersedia membantu Red Esports untuk mendapatkan kemenangan.
Kau lah.
Dikuatkan lagi dengan analis baru iaitu Syamil
Their hands are
bersama
stained
jurulatih
with the
seorang
blood of
pilot.
my
Bolehkah Red Esports membuktikan mereka pasukan merah yang lebih kuat? Mari kita nantikan.
Betrayal.
Now, let us welcome Attack Selangor Red Giants.
Your true leader.
Berjaya memberi kejutan di peringkat antarabangsa. Mereka bersedia untuk memberi cabaran dan melayakkan diri ke M5. Setelah mendominasi perlawanan semalam dengan kemenangan 2-0, bolehkah Selangor Red Giants mengekalkan momentum hari ini? Masanya untuk kita saksikan. Sekarang, marilah kita menjemput barisan marshal kita. Ia akan mengalas tugas untuk memastikan perlawanan sentiasa berjalan dengan adil dan lancar. Memperkenalkan the Head of League Ops Johnson, Head Marshal Lukman dan Marshals Anis dan Irfan. Mari kita teruskan dengan face swap di antara pasukan sebagai tanda profesionalism. Inilah gaya kita. Inilah semangat kesukanan kita. Kawan di luar gelaga, lawan di land of dawn. Alright guys, kita ada dua-dua merah atas pentas sekali lagi. Last season kita dah nampak merah mana yang lebih cerah. Tapi musim kali ini confirm it might be a different red. So, one last time. Dewan Sri Putra, are you ready? Players are seated, casters are seated, and with that, teams, this is your moment. Game on.
Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully we haven't left you on red for too long because we are now ready to paint the stage
needs to start the
red
game.
with the flames of battle and the blood of our enemies. Here for our second series of Week 1, Day 3, you are watching the English cast with me, Staffa, alongside Terrence, aka Icy Baby 1-2. It's gonna be Red Esports versus the Selangor Red Giants.
Glad to be at service here. Hope you guys are enjoying a beautiful Sunday here because now in MPL Malaysia, this is going to be a very, very important match coming from both of these teams here. We have Red Esports debuting their first ever match here in the regular seasons, where Selangor Red Giants is trying to rack up some of their points considering that they've gotten their first 2-0 of this week. Now, who is going to be the better Red? That is something that I think a lot of us kind of expected Red Esports to be the better team coming prior to the previous season here, but after Selangor Red Giants' performance during SPS, it feels like there is a lot of potential coming from their side as well.
I think Selangor Red Giants are coming into Season 12 not just as a team that everyone has their eyes on, but as one of the favorites, in fact, to win the entire tournament thanks to their performance at SPS, as you mentioned. And there were definitely more stonks towards Red Esports previously because they are the original Red after all, the much older team, and yet these rookies have something to show. So it's going to be interesting. We do have a veteran coach on the side of Red Esports, Sora Payung, joined by a familiar face of ours, Shamilo, as the analyst.
Who's that? I don't think I know him. He looks kind of familiar though.
Very familiar.
Yeah, I've never seen him on the English broadcast though.
That's true.
Huh.
Maybe he should come over sometime.
Maybe I think he's on the other side, the you know, not so famous, you know,
Not so
broadcast.
yeah, absolutely. We have way more popularity over here than they do.
And of course, their opponents, you know, let's not take credit where it's due. You know, their opponents, we have Arcadia as the coach coming in for Selangor Red Giants. And now this is going to be an interesting one here because we have two very, very intelligent minds coming from Selangor Red Giants. One being Arcadia, and of course Ozora Becky no longer in his suit. This time he's going to be taking a backseat here and supporting Arcadia as the analyst. And of course, when we talk about Selangor Red Giants here, before SPS and before that, the previous season here, we've seen a lot of growth coming from Selangor Red Giants. And this time they're coming in no longer as rookies, but as a veteran now.
Yep, they're coming in hot. When they debuted in Season 11 under the helm of Azora Vecchi as the head coach, they did really well. They surprised a lot of us considering this is a Tier 2 team making their debut at the MPL. And then after picking up Super Red and Pancake, their presence on the international stage has been felt. So the veterans on the side of Red Esports are not eager to fall behind. They've brought in some new faces as well. This is going to be the Red Esports lineup consisting of Amal, Exort, Melboy, Mal, and Ren Cutie.
This is interesting because of the fact that, you know, we've seen how Kim kind of solidified how strong Red Esports, and that was pretty much the end of the last regular season. During the end of the regular season and during the playoffs as well was where we saw the brightness of how strong Red Esports is with Kim. But now, seeing Exort kind of replace Kim here and Kim being forced to play in the sub role here, I don't know if it's a good thing. But I've heard a lot of rumors here coming from Milo. They're saying that, hey, Exort has brought so much value for the team, and there's a reason why they started with this roster. However, from the side of Selangor Red Giants here, we have Super Zack, Super Red, Super Gojes, Pancake, as well as Super Sekis. Now, here's an interesting fact for you.
Okay.
Did you know that between these two teams here, both Melboy as well as Gojes were in contention for the rookie MVP for the previous
the
season.
best rookie of season 11. Yes, Mel QT back then he was known as well as Gojes were both contenders and very strong ones at that for rookie of the season. Previously, Gojes ended up winning, but I did hear that Melboy had the highest MVP points just collected across the week. So we can imagine that the point values were actually very close. And I think both of them are eager to show who truly is the better player now that they're no longer under the rookie title.
Exactly. Hopefully, we are going to be able to take a look at that here. However, I'm curious to see what they have to be bringing it out to the table here, because for now, both Super Red as well as Red Esports here have shown themselves that they are very, very serious in trying to compete for the best spot. But instead of us talking about them here, what about you guys? Why do you guys predict and let us know who you think the MVP for the match is? Because with your votes, we will be able to select a winner for you guys. And what I mean by that is that if you guys successfully, correctly guess who the MVP of every single match is, you might be one of the winners by the end of today to be walking away with potentially skins or diamonds coming from MLBB.
Yeah, there's gonna be a limited MPL skin up for grabs. Hopefully you caught the QR code. Blink and you'll miss it. Make sure you guys tell us who your predicted MVP of this intense match is going to be, as well as why you think they're going to be MVP. But without further ado, I think it's about time for us to jump into the land of Dawn as we enter the draft phase, brought to you by Mr. Potato between Red Esports and the Selangor Red Giants.
Yep, Selangor Red Giants will be starting things off with first pick here. Kadita, Kaja, as well as Fredrin will be taken out. Red Esports going to be taking away the Valentina as well as the Claude. But this is interesting, considering that Red Esports, they do lean on Melboy now, no longer MelQT, Melboy on playing that Claude role, and it was one of the signatures coming from Red Esports. And here's the fun fact, there is no substitution for experience. Exor is actually a true veteran, active in the MPL Philippines since Season 2.
Ooh, that's pretty notable right there. I think a lot of people will agree that MPL Philippines is one of the most competitive MPLs across all of the regions. So a player that has been there since the very beginning is going to contribute heavily to Red Esports. And based on what we've talked about with Shamilo as well, he's got insider information, he's an analyst for the team. He has told us that despite the fact that Exort was a new player in the lineup, when they first played together in some scrims, he fit in like glue. It was as if he had been playing with this team for ages. So perhaps the mark of a veteran, of an experienced player. We'll see how it does on stage though against a team that has been together for a little bit longer, the Red Giants.
Now we've seen a lot of familiar fans here supporting on towards Pancake, and of course when it comes to Pancake, we are going to be taking a look at his matchup against Mao, because from Red Esports' perspective, they do tend to have to play around Mao, setting it up for Melboy to kind of close out the games. That is pretty much the identity of how Red Esports played throughout the entire Season 11. But from the side of Selangor Red Giants, it's a little bit different, because from SPS days, no one kind of expected them to made it that far. Because technically, you know, when it comes to, I'm sorry to say, when we compete to other regions, Philippines and Indonesia, they have had very, very big successes in terms of play styles as well as the results as well. But Selangor Red Giants was able to prove them wrong to a certain degree.
Yeah, they've already surprised us on the international stage, and they made a massive splash with a 2-0 victory against Lunatics, I believe, on the first match that we saw from them. So I imagine they want to continue that winning streak. They're now in a position where they could potentially vie for first place if they can get a 2-0 victory to surpass Team Hag as well as Homeboys. They're going to continue on their draft. They already started with the Joy, which we really have not been able to see for a while. And they're going to follow up with the Turisla with the Farsa as well.
Now, this is nice, considering that Selangor Red Giants has shown themselves that they do like prioritizing this Turisla. We've seen a huge uprise in this hero from the other regions, but not so much from the other teams here in MPL Malaysia so far. We've seen a couple games here and there, but Selangor Red Giants, they definitely love this pickup. But the question here is that will Red Esports respond by banning off assassins, because this is something that Sekis is very comfortable with. Like both Sekis as well as Amao, they are very comfortable in playing assassin-style junglers, and this is going to be a very important one. Is assassin playstyle the meta, considering that right now Angela is not bad, so there is a possibility that we might see an Angela Ling pickup from both sides.
Ooh, Angela Ling, combo that has been very classic and has recently made more of a resurgence with changes in the meta. As for whether or not the meta is an assassin thing, I actually do feel like it's a damage meta. You gotta have consistent sources of DPS, but there is still places for fighter jungles, for tank jungles, though I do feel like tank jungles nowadays are very limited to Fredrin specifically. And in terms of other heroes as well, we've already seen how wide Super Red's hero pool is. He's played the Clint, and that was the game with the highest DPM in the season so far.
Yep, and of course, you know, there has been rechanges on towards the Hearthclaw build as well. Innate crit builds on towards the Hearthclaw, which allows critical marksmen to kind of shine a little bit more. However, the Dragon Spear is something that has outshined the Hearthclaw a little bit more here in the current patch. So Irritel is going to be something that we are potentially going to be see here. Melboy obviously has played it before. Has it been a good success? Not exactly sure yet, considering that this is Red Esports' first debut match. So looking to that direction, obviously Angela Ling is going to be out of the question, even though I personally want to see it. But they've pretty much shown their hand, right? Like Selangor Giants, if they pick an Angela Ling right here, who's going to be the marksman? Don't tell me, are we going to see a Joy go lane? Which
it's not
highly
likely
doubt
anymore.
is going to be in that direction. But Selangor Giants, they're banning off the box here, so I assume that they're still hinting in a way where they still want to play either sustained build playstyles or maybe a healing composition. But knowing Shamilo as an analyst, he has always hated Enchanter roamers.
Ooh, honestly, I understand. I kind of share a little bit of that sentiment, but a lot more of it is focused towards Estes specifically, because I feel like he's a little bit dumb sometimes. But of course, we don't have to consider that. I don't really think the heroes in the meta nowadays. We do see a lot of focus towards Pancake's hero pool with the Kufra and the Grok removal. Understandable as well, since there's a lot of AoE built into these heroes' kits. And if Red Esports are already showing their hand with the Faramis, they want to make sure that not much AoE will go towards the Red Giants, even though there already is that penalty zone to deal with. As long as they're able to avoid heavy aggression from the side of Red Giants, they should be okay.
Yep, at the same time as well, Hayas Musa also going to be banned as well. Selangor Giants, they don't really want to deal with a potential backline dive as well. But considering that we did see a Hanzo pick earlier on, I don't think Red Esports might bring this up. But if they do, it will be a little bit of a wow factor, because so far we've seen 2 Hanzo games. Both have like one being played by Sonic as well, one being played from a previous game. But aside from those 2 teams that does have the capability to play Hanzo, I don't see any other teams kind of lean towards that
I don't think
direction.
so. And in terms of heroes, there's surprisingly still stuff there, like the Edith, which has been so heavily contested until now, the Paquito somehow making it through to the second phase of the draft, even though it was basically must-pick first phase in the previous series, shows that these teams are already varying in their priorities. The same hero that could be gold for one team is basically just trash for another.
Now, I like that you actually brought up the point just now as well. Targeting towards Pancake's heroes, because as of now, 3 of Pancake's heroes has pretty much been contested so far. The Kufra, Franco is being contested, and only one left is pretty much the Cho. I feel like Selangor Giants, do they want to lean on him playing the Cho this game? Because if he actually goes for this, is this viable? I think it's not too bad if you think about it, especially for 3-4 matchups. So if they decide to go for it, it's too bad. But looks like it's not going to be the case here.
Yeah, the Edith.
But is this a Roam Edith or a Roam Terizla?
I think it's more likely going to be a Roam Edith. I understand where you're coming from with the Roam Terizla, but Edith is more flexible in that position. So I believe that will be the case. And again, another hero that was very consistently picked early in the previous series, now left as a last pick for Red Giants. They get the Irritel, which we mentioned earlier. Super Red does seem to like these more aggressive style of marksmen. The Clint, highest DPM, Probably going to grab things like the Haas Claws, like the Great Dragon Spear as well, show us exactly how much value is in that itemization, and a lot of AoE built into this hero as well to try and deal with the Cult Altar, as Red Esports will bring in the Martis, which is a comfort pick for Amal.
Yep, and looks like we are going to be seeing Amal playing the Martis on the jungle. Run Kitty obviously going to be playing the Paquito matchup against the Edith or maybe even Terisla. But yeah, most likely it's going to be the Terisla matchup. I'm excited to see this here. Joy playing jungle coming in from Selangor Red Giants. However, it seems like both sides have very, very clear win conditions, right? And that win condition is pretty much playing around their jungler's snowballing. And in this case, whether or not Red Esports is able to take control with the Martis to kind of allow Amal to kind of take advantage of his level lead to punish them and then cut the back lines, or Selangor Red Giants is going to be able to do so, because as of yet I feel like they don't really have a strong front wall, but if they are able to hold on to the middle stage game, this is where Selangor Red Giants will have the strongest AoE control to deal with Red Esports.
And we can confirm that this will be a jungle Joy in the hands of Super Skies as well. So as we open the curtains on the land of Dawn, it's gonna be game one. Selangor Red Giants on the blue side, Red Esports on the red side. Who shall be the brighter red today?
Yep, and I'm looking forward to see how it goes as well, but looks like they are going to be starting with a mid lane roamer to try and soak up the XP for the first wave here. So both teams are going to be in contention to prep up their roamers for level 4 for the first turtle clash. So very, very important stuff coming from both sides, but looks like we are going to be setting up an ambush here. Exort might be in a bit of trouble here.
Oh, nice awareness there from Exort. He definitely could realize something was weird when they instantly left the EXP lane and then didn't show up anywhere else on the map. A mirror on both teams to get that level 2 on 3 heroes as fast as possible. Ren Cutie forced to flicker very early.
Now, that was a very, very smart setup coming from Selangor Red Giants. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but knowing that because the meta has kind of shifted where mages are going to be leaning on XP lane to soak up the first wave, tendency you kind of want to rush back to the middle lane in terms of soaking up the next wave, right? Selangor Red Giants anticipated that, but I'm surprised. Exort was able to take the read on that, which is crazy.
That's experience right there. He hasn't been in MPL PH since Season 2 for no reason. And I really like what Melboy is doing here. He is freezing that wave right outside his tower. It will put him slightly behind in terms of gold, because you can see that there's 2 gold minions being grouped up there. But it means that it's going to make it a bit more difficult for Red Giants to try and make an attempt on the gold lane.
Yep, we've got 2 Little Connection coming in from Selangor Red Giants, Super Sekis as well as Zac here. So they are going to be dealing a lot of damage in terms of combo damage-wise. But that's the thing, right? If Red Esports, they get caught out with this combo from both Sekis as well as Zac, they are going to lose members left, right, center, especially this early on. But looks like the contestation is going to happen right now.
Iron Hook onto the far side, pulls Super Zac back, and Amal will secure the turtle. A nice penalty zone, but Gojas maybe a bit too far out as guys try to run in. Decimate going to miss, and Gojas survives, getting the first blood onto Amal.
The beauty of Terisla is just so strong, but it's not over yet.
Pancake going forward, onwards, combos into the air shatter. Oh,
What?
but it is strike doesn't land quick enough. Not sure if Super Zac may have mispressed that.
No, Zac, he did not go for the prediction aim. He actually tapped it and missed his shot. But fortunately for Exort, he was able to survive it. Things would have gotten a little bit disastrous for Red Esports, but fortunately for them, they are able to hold on. But good plays coming from Selangor Red Giants, taking advantage of that earlier lead. But a big clutch coming from Sekis, though, to leave himself up with 1 HP and Amal just losing out in trade-off.
Yeah, they do end up losing the turtle, but I think trading for Amal's life there is not bad at all. And being able to keep Gojas alive is going to help a lot. And we already mentioned how nowadays the EXP lane matters a lot towards that early and mid game. So it's important to keep things even. And we can see that in terms of evenness, both EXP laners are cutting the wave on the opposite side of their lane.
Yep, so far back tier 2 as well. Not even taking advantage of the gold plating soak there when the minions actually finish him off. So that's something that I guess they want to try and prioritize lane control so that they can actually rotate as 5. But here comes the engagement.
With the Bloody Hunt, misses the Iron Hook. Pancake pops the Primal Wrath, but won't survive as the Decimate catches him out. And Amal, with the movement speed, easily weaves around the Feather Airstrike.
Yep, nicely done coming in from Red Esports. This is exactly what they need, right? They lost a little bit of deficit here. They need to find some sort of trade-off, but now Red QT might be in trouble.
Super Sky is trying to chase him down. Not going to commit the electrifying beats here. Probably doesn't have enough damage to kill. But this pressure means that Super Red is getting bullied quite hard in the gold lane. 3 members of Red Esports, will they make an attempt?
Yep. At the same time here, you know, Red Esports, they finally gathered their bearings, right? Like, this is where they finally have a little bit more damage control and abilities to actually contest against Selangor Giants before pre-4. But the question here remains is that, can they take advantage of the count altar to allow Exor to pick up this fight? Because so far, Red Esports, they haven't been able to group up as 5 to take a front-to-front head fight. Because if they do that, Super Gojeks is going to take advantage of penalty zone and just completely shut them down. So they have to pick their fights very, very carefully here coming from Red Esports.
And I like that that's what they're doing. Red Esports are giving proper respect to their opponents. They're making sure not to dive too deep, because even though they have heroes like Namartis with the killing spree, they understand that Terizla is always going to be a massive threat. And as long as Super Zack and Super Skies are nearby, there's a lot of setup for a strong team fight. And speaking of that, RenQT, he may be caught out here. Pincer, Super Zack trying to cut him off. Super Red here as well. They feed the kill to the Irritel. Amal caught under feather airstrike, comes out. Will he be able to escape? No, he won't. Super Skies chases him down, gets the kill under tower.
Beautiful stun here for Zack to actually allow that kill, and just like that, Red Esports, they finally hit the blunder. They made a little bit of a mistake here, got punished for this. And because of this play, Red Esports now is back to the drawing board. There's nothing Exor can do, Melboy and Mao, so they have to find a way to kind of gather their bearings here. Because with these 2 deaths, a lot of map control is gone, but now here comes the hook.
Oh, a beautiful hook, a bloody hunt under tower, but Super Zack is nearby, easily stuns Mao out and prevents him from dropping Pancake any lower. RenQT, you may have gone too far once again. Gonna dash away, stunned by Super Zack. Penalty zone going to miss. Feathered airstrike committed as well. Super Sky is gonna cut him off, but in the meantime, Red Esports comes from the side, but Maul is the one getting picked up. Pancake is traded out, but they'll lose Exort and RenQT in exchange. So Melboy comes out of the exchange with a double kill, including Super Red.
Oh, the idea was so good coming from Red Esports, but the split focus in that fight was what cost them the fight, because in that moment, RenQT was trying to bait away and pull away Super Sekis from that fight. Ama was nowhere near to intercept Mao to try and re-engage the rest of the teams coming from Selangor Red Giants, and because of that, they lacked the numbers, they lacked the damage, and Selangor Red Giants was able to capitalize on all the pickoffs from like that.
But they were still forced to use a lot of their resources to catch out RenQT, and I think if they had saved some of those, that team fight would have ended up much more beneficial, because, oh, hold on, they're gonna find out Amal, onward, feathered airstrike, that's a lot of resources.
Oh!
Flickers forward! Gets the hook on Super Zack into Bandit's Rage. Cold Altar going to be popped instantly. Red Esports wants to get out of here. RenQT from the side, gonna be pushing Pancake back into the clutches of Red Esports, and they get yet another kill. Super Skies, too late to the party. He's just gonna have to walk away without any gifts today.
Nicely done coming Red Esports. That's exactly how they should be taking a fight here. Using the counter to deal with the penalty zone, but Super Zack is, oh my goodness. The amount of damage from the bleed speeds here coming from him is just phenomenal. But at the same time, the GDS is out onto a Super Red. Irritel is gonna slowly but surely hit like a truck.
So much trigger finger coming out of Skies there. I would have really wanted to go further into that, but we can see an instant replay. Maul, he's really settled into the tank role here, being able to get a beautiful flicker hook. Penalty zone only catches 1, and then Pancake is just too far out. RenQT, oh, hold on, instantly into another fight. Turtle gonna be secured by Amal. Bandit's Rage comes out to zone out the rest of the Selangor Red Giants. No casualties this time, but this is a close game so far.
Yeah, that was a very, very nice fight as well. Yeah, and prior to the highlights, well, not to mention as well, Red Esports, I don't know if that's luck or skill, but right now, RenQT, okay. That's a little bit of scary points here, but once again, he's going to be the distraction for Red Esports, though.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I don't know why Pancake would flicker forward without charging Earth Shatter up first, but onwards, gonna find out RenQT. Call Altar, penalty zone on the 2 members. Maul trying to look for a hook, but it's RenQT who's gonna be taking a lot of damage. He's still alive. Gojeks gets the final hit, but Maul finds the hook in the back line, but there's no one to back him up. Melboy gonna be caught out by Super Skies on the other side of the map somehow, as Maul will be able to escape, but what does it cost?
Again, another time. This is Red Esports just feeling a little bit disconnected here, as everyone is making the calls, but the calls seems very, very split in all these fights, and there's nothing that kind of collapse together. And this is a big problem because twice now, Red Esports hasn't been able to find the right kills, and Selangor Red Giants is able to capitalize on this. It feels like they're playing around the wrong targets. They should be playing around Mao, or maybe even just focus on one. But here comes the hook.
Giant hook. Bloody Hunt Gojes under the tower. Better airstrike though.
What?
Picks off Maul, and Gojes is able to flicker out to safety. Maul setting up the fight, but getting picked off himself.
My goodness, Gojas is just an absolute monster. He's unkillable at this stage here. This Terisla just doing so much work, and because of this, Red Esports is just losing members left, right, front, and center. Now, Red Esports, they need to get to their barracks later. But, however, despite how everything looks, right? Everything looks like Selangor Red Giants is losing out a lot in terms of all these skirmishes. But economy-wise, I'm surprised it's not that far apart.
No, honestly, not at all. And I think that the Red Giants have been doing an amazing job of just playing the map around and counter-engaging. There's a reason why teams are starting to ban out this Terisla, because of the value that he's offering. Every single time Gojes gets caught out, he somehow makes it out, and the rest of his team is there to back him up and get a kill in return.
Yep, look at his setup right now. Look at Ren QT's positioning. He's thinking about trying to split push and try and take the tier 2 down bottom. But at the same time, he's looking for a flank. However, the rest of his team is not going to help aim out right now.
Penalty zone not going to lock down Amal. He's got that Mortal Coil, but better airstrike will find him, and he's taken out. Ren QT too late. He's looking for Super Zack, but he flickers away from his clutches. Maul concealed play gets cancelled by the Lord. Gojes still forming the front line, and Red Esports are getting effectively zoned out by both Super Gojes and Pancake.
Yep, especially when Amal is now down as well. There's going to be a Lord coming in. Oh,
for Skies,
he gets it.
Gets the Lord. Ren QT too far. Cult Altar gonna keep him alive as the Iron Hook finally lands and secures the kill on the Pancake.
My goodness, Exort has, you know, just trying so hard to save his teammates every single time. His Cult Altar is on point, but just now when Amal died, he was almost able to clip the Cult Altar ontowards Amal, buying a little bit more window time, but unfortunately, he was just out of range of the pixel because of the brush. But now let's look at the items as well. We do see Radiant Armor purchases coming from Mao to deal with both Sekis as well as Zack, but I don't see any Radiant Armor purchase coming from Selangor Red Giants to deal with Exort. So eventually, if they clump up more, Exort is going to be able to do a lot more damage now.
But it doesn't seem like they're worried about Exort as of yet here. So it seems like they're quite confident that as long as they're able to build enough physical defense, they'll be fine, since a lot more of it is going to be coming from Melboy, from Amal. Can already see the concealed play. Pancake going to miss. Mortal Coil is Super Gojes into the backline. Flicker penalty zone finds 3. He will get shut down, but Sky's in the backline causing havoc. Winter Trunkin keeps him alive, just barely. Electrifying beats as well to get out, and may have been a bit too far invested by the Red Giants.
You know, it was a very flashy play coming from Selangor Red Giants. However, Red Esports was able to zone involved, because not to mention as well, they were able to bait out Super Seki's Winter Trunkin, and on top of it all, they almost lost their life. So I would say it was a pretty sketchy play coming from Selangor Red Giants, but good defense coming from Red Esports.
But all things considered, it seems like Red Giants may have been willing to just make that play. I'm pretty sure Gojes knows that there's a death sentence jumping in like that, and he was hoping to probably set up a few more kills with it, but being able to clear out all the external towers is probably a sufficient enough trade. Because now Red Giants, the Lord not going to be coming up very soon, so they may try to make something happen on the other side.
Yep, at the same time, they're making an attack. Pancake, he missed the angle.
Messes up his combo. Exort and Melboy will get out. Mal has to flicker away from the clutches. He will drop a lot of HP as Ren QT cuts off the backline.
Oh, Ren QT!
Kills Super Zack. The hook onto Super Red. Mal will trade his life for a kill onto the enemy marksman. As Ren QT flickers forward, he's looking for the joy. Gojes there to bolster the defense and make sure his jungler will get out.
I don't know what's up, but Mao is just playing an absolute perfect Franco game, and because of this, he's set up so many plays. He's able to open up the plays coming in from Red Esports to actually capitalize on all this space here. Selangor Red Giants, they have to start focusing on the right targets now. Their Red QT is just extremely distracting, but the big threat here is not him so far.
I would say that depends on which perspective you're looking at, because for Super Zack, this Paquito is the ultimate threat on the map. He's been able to find him every single time, and without that feathered airstrike, Red Giants is lacking a little bit of damage. And the fact that Maul was able to find Super Red out of everyone in that pile of Red Giants instantly secured a fight win. Now the Lord going to be contested by the Selangor Red Giants. Pancake not going to be able to find Ren QT.
Yep, now Winds of Nature purchase up on Melboy as well. Hopefully he's going to be able to do with Super Red, but they need to find the right opportunity because the rest of the team, they're pretty far off, and now they are going to try and rush this.
Hey, Mal going to be dealing with 3 members. Super Red still working on the Lord. Mal going to finally miss that Iron Hook. Lord with the knockout. Super Sky is going to get the Lord as Polotar comes out. Better is right, going to be clearing up Mal. Melboy going to be able to set up the kill for Amal as he slays Super Coaches. He gets Super Red as well. Double kill for the Martis as Melboy gets the shutdown onto Super Sky.
Beautiful plays coming in from the rest of Red Esports here. They may have lost the Lord, but Amal was able to salvage the fight, taking down Super Red as well as Super Sky all by himself with the decimation there. That was a big play coming from Amal. However, Melboy as well, he almost got taken down, but he did his job good. He was making sure that Ren QT survived, and he's using his ultimate to actually zone them out. So nicely done coming from Red Esports, but this equalized the score once again. But now, we are slowly treading into the late game territory here. Selangor Red Giants, they are going to lose out a lot of this power spike coming from Super Sekis, but it's not over yet because eventually they need to kind of transition in a way where Super Sekis will be playing a role similar to how Ren QT is, being very distracting to allow Super Red to get free hits all the way through.
Red Giants need to be able to buy enough time for Skies to be able to jump that back line and threaten Melboy the same way that Super Zack is being threatened by the Paquito. But Red Esports has really turned the situation around, and I love this. They know that their scaling will be able to come into play as long as they don't fall too behind the Red Giants. And because of some possibly over-aggressive plays from the Selangor Red Giants side, the tables have indeed turned on them.
Yep, Winter Trunken purchase up in Super Zack. Maybe like you said as well, it's all about you know, baiting out Ren QT, right? Ren QT is just extremely annoying. You know, they're trying to find a way to punish Super Zack. You know, they want to make sure that he dies first before the rest because Gojaz, yes, he's got the penalty zone, it's great, but if there's no follow-up, what does that penalty zone translate to? So I guess Red Esports is angling in that angle to try and catch Super Zack as much as possible. So this is going to be very important here because Red Esports, they are going to clash into them.
A really nice initiation. Amal with the Mortal Coil, make sure he doesn't get tossed back, but the Cold Altar has been used quite early by Exort. The Red Giants, they see this as a chance to go in instantly, but Red Esports with a great disengage, using a conceal of their own and not going to let the Red Giants take advantage of their cooldowns.
Hey, split push is the name of the game. Red Esports is going to be doing that angle as well. Once again, Ren QT always pressuring the other side of the map, while the rest of his teammates are going to be playing a little bit more defense. Super Red Giants, they popped up as 5. They're a little bit disconnected now because of the fact that right now, they're more focused on taking a team fight with Red Esports rather than play the macro game. And because of that, Red Esports is just slowly chipping away at all the outer turrets and getting somewhat of a map control. And this is worrisome because Red Esports, they are trying to force Selangor Red Giants to commit to them to buy time.
That's exactly what they're doing right now because they recognize that Red Giants have a lineup that will generally need most of their team to be together to be at its full strength, while Red Esports are quite content to split the map, having the Cult Altar as defensive utility, Ren QT being able to take care of himself, and speaking of, he finds Super Zack, tries to go for the 1-2 punch, but Super Zack has enough health to survive that, so he's not going to get a cheeky kill for now.
Yeah, interesting as well. Like Red QT is trying to pressure the top lanes as well, but the immunity show Sekis up top means that right now it's disconnected. The Lord's half HP, but the bottom lane is also shelved in. Selangor Red Giants, they've sent in Super Zack to defend on bottom lane, while the rest of Red Esports, they're still thinking they're using this Lord to actually go in for a hostage to deal with Selangor Red Giants. Wow, Melboy potentially looking to punish the bottom lane here, but no. Selangor Red Giants, they tried to make on Ren QT, it didn't work out.
Yep, did not work out for him there at all. Lord at 40% HP. Amal has been working on it the entire time. Mal and Melboy still on the opposite side of the map. They're waiting for Red Giants to invest so they can go for a full dive split push into their base. Zack UT, Super Zack going to be there to defend, but will he be able to hold 1v2? The Lord dropping to dangerous health levels.
Oh, nicely done coming from Red Esports. They held that for as long as they can because they needed the hostage that as long as they can, because if Selangor Red Giants committed to the fight, they would have won, but Selangor Red Giants had zero information of where Mao as well as Melboy was in that bottom line, and as soon as they showed themselves, boom, instant reset, we're doing it again. And now Selangor Red Giants, they have to change their formations now because this 5-man clump up team fight is not working out, whereas Red Esports is just fully taking advantage of that. You know what? You want to force a fight? I don't care. I'm just baiting you. I don't even want to fight. I just want to back off, bait you, and play the macro game right now.
But I love that Red Esports are not falling for that bait. That Red Giants are not allowing themselves to go too aggro. They will look for Rank QT here. Super gonna pop the ultimate. Cold Altar has been used as well. Drop down instantly on Rank QT and Exhort, who are stacked up. That is so much damage coming from the Iritel. Amal is here, but is it too late? Rank QT is dead. Exhort is down. Amal dropping real low, but look at the bottom lane. Super Gorgeous with the 2-man penalty zone instantly denies the backdoor attempt, and Mal and Melboy will fall as a double kill to the hands of Super Zack.
Oh, Selangor Red Giants, they could not take it anymore. They know Red Esports is doing exactly that, and now they're just taking advantage of what Iritel is strong. Isolated fights. Red Esports gave it to them, but Selangor Red Giants took a little bit long to read this, but they're finally getting it right now, and they're focusing down Crystal, and they will take down another player and close out game 1.
Exhort going to try his best to get that base defense in, but 1v5 is never going to work out. A beautiful play by the Selangor Red Giants, perfectly understanding the possibility, the plans that their opponents may have, and closing out a victory in one fell swoop.
Well, very, very nicely done coming in from Selangor Red Giants, because that was something that was given to them on a silver platter. Red Esports, they're pushing to their limits here time and time again, but eventually Selangor Red Giants says, you know what, let's test it out. You know what, if I don't think they're gonna force fight. If we can catch Red QT, boom. But the moment that happens, Red Esports just completely fumbled, because they were just playing on dangerous waters here, expecting that Selangor Red Giants is not gonna make a move because of that.
It seemed like Red Esports may have tunnel vision a little bit. They were so focused on making sure bait the Red Giants into the Lord fight, make sure that Mal and Melboy can get the split push in. But they were the ones who got engaged on instead. And Red Esports still had the opportunity to look at the situation and adjust. They can send Mal and Melboy back and try to go for a pincer play, make sure that they go back and defend. But once all 3 members had fallen, I think they weren't expecting that much damage from Super Red, because he's been dispatched so early in all of these fights. Everything just started falling apart. There was no choice but to go for the push. And lo and behold, Super Gorgeous once again.
Hey, simple saying here. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Unfortunately, that did not happen for Selangor Red Giants here, because now the MVP for that match is going to be Super Sekis on his joy here. Making the right plays here, catching the backline, zoning them out, just completely chunking them off, and winning the objectives here. So nicely done coming in from Selangor Red Giants.
The master of the skies himself. Super Skies has been a jungler that a lot of people have had their eyes on. A rookie with a lot of potential that has even shown us what he's capable of on the international stage, despite not having that much MPL experience. And moments like this just cement things even further. MVP going to go over to the jungler of the Selangor Red Giants.
Yep, with the Genius one as well as the Divine Glaive as a first item choice here. That kind of says a lot as well, because he's always setting up for the Farsa time and time again. But even if the Farsa is not able to go for the follow-up, this is more than enough to do enough damage to actually cut the back line. 6-1 and 6. He died once in this first engagement, but aside from that, actually he didn't even die. He actually baited the Mortis into that fight in the first Turtle Clash, and that was pretty insane, because that was a very, very difficult thing to do if you think about it, especially if you're going up against Mortis. But I'm curious to see what Selangor Red Giants has to say as we jump into the mic check.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Guys, don't need to be 100% mirror, guys. You guys just...
I can flicker. Nice. Oh, here. Go. No. Okay, no. Look at this. I will lock up. Push mid. Better.
Well, very interesting calls coming from Ozoro Veki. Don't need to 100% mirror. That seems to be the call coming in from them. And guess what? They were mirroring Red Esports for so long. At the moment they jumped the gun and say, you know what, let's not mirror, let's just jump the gun. And guess what? That's what won them the game.
Yeah, not falling for the usual Lord Dan shenanigans. I think Selangor Red Giants have a lot of experience here. The players, despite their supposed inexperience, have so much maturity. They seem to understand exactly what their limits are and even what their opponents may be planning. We saw so many times that it seemed like an obvious time for Red Giants to go in for an engagement, but they hold back.
His emblems here, he went for agility, tenacity, as well as the brave smite to actually take advantage of that. But most importantly, pay attention to his items here. He didn't even bother to go for magic defense at all. It's pretty much blade armor, anti-Kiras, as well as dominant knights to deal with the entire lineup coming for Red Esports. Because the only magic that's coming in here, which is a Faramis, but does the Faramis hurt as much as before? I don't think so. But I might be a little bit wrong because we will see the actual calculations here coming from Exort later on. But so far, the entire fight has been Exort playing on a supporting role.
That can be kind of the risk when you're going for a lineup like this, where your only source of magic damage is also someone who has to make sure they stay alive to keep your team alive in the first place. I don't think Exort quite got unlocked into a role where he could act as a secondary DPS, because the way that the Red Giants were moving were way too fast. In terms of itemization, it's not as if he was very far behind as well. A lot of damage there, even getting the Holy Crystal as a 4th item, which very much indicates he wants to get in there. He wants to do DPS, which could be great since there's not that much magic defense, but there was never a chance to do so.
Yeah, it was very, very difficult. Every time Exort is trying to play a little bit more supportive role, trying to save his buddy. In particular, that's going to be Ren QT. But even so, let's take a look at the damage here. He still did a decent amount. It's still 66,000 damage being dealt from Exort. So I'm really surprised that he's doing this much. But it seems like the rest of the Esports just couldn't find the right kills to force the fight. And who could blame him considering how mobile Selangor Red Giants is in all these fights? Like, Super Seki is extremely threatening. You have Super Gojes right in your face, very threatening here. Super Zac very far behind. And every single time they choose to catch on Super Zac, Super Sekis and Gojes is going to be run rampant throughout the entire fight. But not to mention about all these 3 players, Super Red was the one that is also another one that is terrifying, because if you are split off, I'm getting free hits all the way through.
Iritel is such a scary hero once you're able to get those 3 items, once you get a bit more of an EXP lead. And as we can see in the highlights here, when this game started, we really had no idea which way it was going to go, because both of these red teams were at each other's throats right from the very beginning. At one moment, Red Giants was making amazing plays, getting huge pickoffs. Another moment, Red Esports was setting up and controlling the map and getting these amazing iron hooks.
Yeah, Mao, that's the thing about Red Esports' composition, right? Like, they have a very strong lineup designed to play around pickoffs as well as just, you know, one-shotting people. Like, most of the fights that Red Esports actually won was because of the fact that Mao was able to get a very nice hook and everybody kind of collapsed on him and try and pick a fight. But whenever Mao gets the hook and nobody follows up, or everybody's trying to make those individual plays, that is where things kind of took a little bit of a backstep towards Red Esports and allowed Selangor Red Giants, which, like I said as well, was designed for team fight as well as isolating fights because of how strong the Iritel can do. If you take out the Iritel, great. If you can take out the Farsa, great. But what about the other 3?
I think in the end, what contributed a lot to the downfall of Red Esports was the fact that they may have hovered a little bit too long on their plan. Like, it's a great plan, don't get me wrong. Buy time, get the split push, get the backdoor victory. But why not try to go for a direct fight? You actually have plenty of damage with the Faramis. You have the Cult Altar. Take advantage of that. Apply to as many as possible. You've already been able to slowly pick off the members of Red Giants one by one. There's no need to go for a particularly desperate play to try and end the game. Take it slow. Otherwise, I feel like it could have definitely gone very differently.
Yeah, it could have gone differently as well, you know. But at the same time, I'm surprised they're just dodging his way through. But that's the thing, right? When it comes to momentum is very, very important. And in this case, Selangor Red Giants, they are very, very momentum-based in a sense where they had already played one series. They took a 2-0. They already understood what needs to be done. It might be, you know, the first game jitters. It might be the first game rust. You know, this first week rust here, you know, Red Esports, they haven't exactly do too much. They haven't exactly kind of, you know, warmed up yet. So I guess that could be the case.
Yeah, that could be the case, but you know, sometimes you do need a little bit something extra in order to actually warm up. So if you guys want to never stop fighting and grind on, you can power up with Nescafe. If you're looking for that extra boost for your next MLBB game, all you gotta do to get confirmed power in your next ranked game is to power up with our sponsors, Nescafe here. I think a lot of us are fans of their drinks, and of course, it gives you all the energy you need to climb up those ranks.
I think that's why Red Esports lost the game. I swear.
Is it?
I think that's the reason why they lost
They
the game.
didn't have enough Nescafe.
Exactly. That's pretty much a very clear cut here. And of course, once they have their Nescafe, obviously they are going to be A-okay. But for now, Red Esports is back to the drawing board for them. Game 2, they need to get a full reset. In terms of communication and the ideas they want to play, they were able to kind of execute it, but it feels like Red Esports, they just got a little bit greedy, hoping that Selangor Red Giants is not going to be able to respond. And so far, it took quite a number of time for Selangor to actually, Red Giants to actually respond before they actually close out the game.
Yeah, I think the key point here that Red Esports should keep in mind when going into game number 2 is to move a little more quickly. You could see the fundamentals. The individual mechanics were actually all on point and pretty scary in itself. If you could set up a team lineup that can be a little bit more effective against the Red Giants and try to reset your mind to move just a little bit quicker instead of hovering too long on certain strategies and certain parts of the map, then that adaptability will get you very far.
Yep. And of course, for the fans here, they are going to be supporting whoever that wins. In this case, it is going to be on the banner of Red Esports. Red Esports is down by 1 game. It's not over yet. There is still going to be more games to go. But all things considered, you know, Red Esports, they have to actually shut down Selangor Red Giants, because if they do not, it is going to be very difficult for them if they want to try and score some points. Why I say this? Oh wait, it's only week 1. Yeah, it's all about debuts, blah, 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 blah. That's what we all thought. Look how last season happened. By week 2, by week 3, everyone is struggling to get points, because it's not just about the weaker teams. It's the stronger teams to come that you are going to be facing that may or may not cost you games and points.
It basically means that your score, your ranking in the charts of MPL MY are always going to be volatile.
Yes.
And while there is some freedom to experiment a bit in the first couple of weeks, being able to set up a proper foothold for yourself is very important.
Yep.
So there's always factors to consider. It's not just in the Land of Dawn itself. There's always going to be meta things that you have to consider. And I'm not talking about in-game meta. I'm talking about the MPL meta itself. Do you hide strategies? Do you experiment? Do you try things? Do you save certain picks for certain teams?
You know what's an interesting fact? We caught a glimpse of Rose and her family. That was her sister and her mother on the scene.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
That's nice. I do recall Rose mentioning that her mom is quite a big fan of MPL.
Oh yeah, she is.
Yeah, so that's quite fun. It's nice that they were able to come by.
Which MPL do you know?
I think in general.
No. I know which MPL she's
Really?
a big fan.
Is that so? Are you going to... Is it something you can say on stream?
I can, but I want to believe it's let's just put
we'll
it
let you
aside.
guys ask her mom yourself.
Agree.
Yeah.
But now with 44 seconds left, adaptations need to be made here. Milo going to be giving the analysts here on what they need to be changing as well. Obviously, he's been analyzing on how the gameplay kind of went here. I think he would be able to spot whatever we're trying to do as well. The idea execution was great, but being extremely greedy with those kind of plays. So far, Red Esports has been pushing on hoping that Ren QT is going to be the ones that, like, hey, you know what? Ren QT, do your thing. Do your thing. Keep pushing it. Keep trying the same thing. Hope that Selangor Red Giants doesn't punish you. You're a mechanical god. Just keep doing your thing. But eventually, Selangor Red Giants just said, I'm done with it. I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah,
and that needs to be fixed. They need to actually have that kind of discipline to play together.
Pretty much. There is one part of that sentence that kind of echoes it. The hope that Red Giants will not stop you. We cannot hope in these games. We have to manipulate fate itself. We have to dictate
what's your
every
command?
decision that not only we make, but that our opponents are forced into. And hopefully, we'll get to see those kind of mind games happen on the chessboard. That is going to be draft number 2.
Yep, destinies and fate are decided at your own choices. Every move you make will decide your future.
I feel like I just walked into a sketchy fortune teller.
But nevertheless, here the draft begins for game number 2, and Red Esports going to be on the blue side and Selangor Red Giants on the red side. This time they are going to be reversing here, but of course, Red Esports, they do have the tendency to lean on Claude as a fallback plan. And this is something that Red Esports has had very good success during the previous season. You know, first pick Claude, nothing can go wrong. Obviously, there are a lot of ways to deal with it, but Red Esports has had the highest win rate ratio ever since their debut from the previous season of Melboy coming in towards MPL.
Yeah, the revamp on Red Esports last season definitely raised some eyebrows where Maul, their long-time hyper carry, shifted over to their own position. And we can see a little bit of fun fact here. Ozora Vecchi tried to improve team chemistry by forcing all the players to stay in one room for a few days.
Imagine this. 5, 6, they have 7 players, right? 7 players in a small room. And everyone is very sweaty. And imagine one guy farts.
Ah, man. That's not good.
Imagine that. Sink it for a bit. 7 sweaty guys in a room. One guy farts. Who is it? Do you admit you did it? Or do you play dumb? Who did it?
Whoever smelt it, dealt it.
Alright. Alright.
Yeah, maybe it's because they were all in such close contact that the super got spread around. You know? It's like a disease. It was just Super Red before, and now everyone else is super as well, besides Pancake. I imagine he just holed himself up in a corner or
I
something.
think it's gonna be super stinky.
Super stinky.
Anyways, back to the drafts here. Now we are going to be taking a look at Red Esports, where Kadita, Claude, as well as Tarisla ban again. Wow, this is I did not expect this, considering that this is a comfort hero. Red Esports decided to ban Claude twice in a row now from game 1 as well as game number 2, and this time they're doing it again.
Doesn't seem like they want to focus on that too much because we've already seen the weaknesses of Claude. Yes, the comeback potential is crazy. We've already seen that from Ryzel. But the early to mid game where you have to buy time for this hero to farm takes so long, and you're so vulnerable at that point when you could go for a hero that's more effective early on in the game. And it's understandable they would ban Tarisla as well because, well, Gojis was such a pain in the butt.
Yep, at the same time here, you know, considering that it is going to be taken out, I feel like there is going to be a lot more room for another hero to come out, and that is going to be the Fanny. And so far, we haven't seen it yet. Like, first game... Oh, wait, sorry, Fanny's banned. I'm sorry. Game 1, they actually banned
I didn't even notice. It's fine. We're both at fault here.
Yeah.
She's like at the very bottom corner.
Yeah, a little bit small there, but I think when it comes to this first pick here, do they want to go for a flex pick again? Pick up the Edith, just deny it away? Or not? Okay, they're going to go for it, yeah. Fortune Teller, still on point.
Yep, we got the sketchy fortune teller does sometimes get it right.
But that's the thing.
Edith
How
picked up,
often have I not got it right?
I'm not going to keep track of that.
I can give you the percentage.
I'm not going to go to the fortune teller
82% prediction rate so far.
How
did I get a number? I don't know. The fortune teller powers.
Yeah, the fortune teller told you your accuracy was 82%.
Yeah.
But now that the Edith has come out, will we see the Paquito again on the opposite side this time?
I don't think they should go for the Paquito. Like, because of the fact that Red Esports, they lean on the Paquito. But so far, the Paquito isn't exactly the greatest XP laner in the current meta. Yes, it's got the flexibility, but okay, looks like the fortune teller is, you know, just drop a percentage right now.
So
80%
long as I can breathe.
80%. I think it's 56%. The win rate for Paquito right now, not too bad considering how often he has been picked up. But I actually kind of thought maybe they might go for Martis instead. Still a very solid hero overall. The fact that they didn't go for that will leave it open for Red Esports, but I'm wondering whether or not they'll go for a bit of a shift in approach. Do they still want to pick up the Franco? Very good counter to the Farsa. We'll have to find out.
Personally, I don't really like the Paquito in the current patch. Yeah,
really?
people is like, oh no, it's great and strong and all, blah, blah, blah. But That's the thing, right? The reason why I hate it is that
exists the equilibrium.
Is that?
Was made for.
if you don't hit your combos,
Okay.
if you don't do enough damage, your only other option is to run. Like, if you were compared to another hero like Uranus, like, hey, it's boring, blah, 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 I can be in your face to soak damage and still do some decent amount of damage. To actually buy time and do the same thing Paquito does. And only difference is that it's safer to play it on Uranus compared to a Paquito, where if you get caught, you're dead.
So you're basically being the opposite of Gideon right now.
Yes.
You're being the antithesis,
He hates the wet noodle
of
fight,
the
but I love it.
anti-Uranus caster here. Interesting. Gideon would be rolling, not in his grave, probably in his bed, back at home hearing this. But with the Fredrin and the Eve locked in, Red Esports has a very solid front line, as well as some interesting options. And I did wonder about the Martis earlier. Red Giants going to lock it in now.
Okay, very, very, I would say dependent now, because as of yet, Melboy 99 need to hug or hold on to something in order to sleep well during bedtime. Okay, that's a little bit TMI here, don't you think?
It's a good thing he wasn't on the Red Giants, because when they were all locked in a room, he would have no choice but to hug someone else.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
We're going there real fast. Something just, you know, we went there. We shouldn't go there, man. That's too far gone, bro. That's the line. We gotta. We're treading really, very
close.
close
Where your
now.
mind goes in the first place. It would just be more super stinky.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. That was a good one. But at the same time, now let's talk a little bit more on the drafts here. I think, wow, we've got fans of Shamilo right now. Holy
That's
moly.
a nice shot right there,
That's a
Shamilo.
very nice shot. I don't think he realizes it. He's very focused now. But now, let's focus onto this game here. Franco being banned from side Selangor Giants. We know how Mao has kind of terrorized their playstyle in game number 1. So this is, I think, Selangor Giants, we're having Arcadia kind of testing Mao's hero pools, because if you've seen Mao on his previous track record here, he's played Cho, he's played Kufra, he's played the Franco, and big successes on him has so far been the Kufra and the Franco thus far.
Kufra wouldn't be a bad choice in this situation since there's a Paquito, but Red banned it themselves since they're worried that Pancake has the first pick on their next phase. But this will definitely limit things, unless they intend to flex the Edith into the roam position, which is very possible.
Very, very possible indeed here. And I guess that's the idea as well, because Selangor Giants, they're actually not too sure if it is going to be the case, because I feel like this is something that Red Esports is intending to do, putting the Edith into a roam position and then pick another hero to actually play on XP lane. And in this case, Yujong isn't too bad right here if Red Esports actually decides to use it to deal with the force out. This was once upon a time a Red Esports special, that's one. Two, a Ren QT special as well.
Absolutely a Ren QT special. Shamilo really just getting a lot of attention from the crowd right now. Rose telling us, hey, this is the man up on stage. Look at him in all his glory. Serious mode, Shamilo.
Yep, serious mode in.
Take it all in, everyone.
Yep, take it. He's smiling, but I don't think he's smiling at Rose for that.
If he knows what we were talking about.
Agreed, agreed. But of course, now with the Harif also being banned here coming from Red Esports, it seems like they are gonna try, and I'm not sure about the Harif ban though. I feel like it's a little bit weird, but considering how the Joy was played in the previous game coming from Sekis, if Red Esports just doesn't want somebody go to the back line, so taking away the Harif is great, and now with the Joy also banned from them, so this time, Red Esports will not be afraid of the back lines, and this Yves is going to be able to do a little bit more compared to previous game. Like, it forces the Paquito and the Mortis to go the back line and leave the Farsa exposed for Red Esports to actually dive him.
I was actually considering whether Pancake would pick up the Grok here, just to make sure it's not picked up against them, because it's a very easy deny for the Feathered Airstrike. But I wasn't sure if they would do it, since Eve really messes with Grok. But it seems like Pancake is pretty confident. Now, what I'm wondering about this Harif ban, you usually ban this hero when you're gonna pick a hero like Claude, which typically is weaker early in the gold lane so that you don't get bullied hard. But Claude has already been banned themselves. So I'm wondering what they are looking for here. Like, if they still intend to go for the typical Beatrix, there isn't really a need to ban Harif. So I'm very curious.
Yeah, I'm a little bit weirded out as well, but now Yujong pickup coming from Red Esports, they are going to pick it on the XP lane, so it is going to be a roam Edith. Melboy, what's it going to be? Is it going to be the Melissa? Nope, it is going to be the carry instead to deal with all these tanky ones here. And of course, inside the comments here, the banners there, why is Shamilo not playing? Well, technically he is playing the drafts as an analyst.
He is playing in his own special way here, but the carry pick has been a bit hit or miss here. The hero is still very good at taking down tankier opponents, but now with the shorter range compared to basically every other marksman in the meta, it does take a lot of effort to make sure that Melboy will be able to dish out that DPS consistently.
Yep, are they going to go for Irritel? No, they're not. They're actually bringing it into 1-1. And surprise, surprise, it's a 100% win rate thus far. And I'm curious to see how Selangor Red Giants actually pulls this off, because as of yet, this 1-1 is going to have a very, very difficult time. But of course, considering the amount of CCs that Red Esports is coming in, if you get caught, instant built-in Purify to get out of sticky situations.
You typically want to avoid playing 1-1 against heroes like Yuzong, like Edith, but there is a particular hero where 1-1 matches up very well against, and that is actually the Fredrin, because he will usually just stand there pretty slow, very easy to hit all your marks on. Compared to before, 1-1 doesn't move nearly as quickly, so that has really deterred her damage. I'm interested to see this.
Yeah, based on this draft as well here, you know, Red Esports looks like they have a very, very solidly good plan here. Yujong to actually deal with the Farsa, but from the side of Selangor Red Giants here, if they're able to kite out the Yujong as well as the Fredrin, they will be easily able to turn the tides in their favor. Who's it gonna be?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Land of Dawn opens once more, and action instantly begins with Gojes and Super Zack encountering two from Red Esports on their side. But it's going to be Red Esports currently 1 game down, eager to make a strong debut by taking this to a Game 3, and the Red Giants who want to claim a clean series to get first place on the standings.
Yep, I agree. But now, as of yet, we are seeing a little bit of a Selangor Red Giants getting a little bit aggressive here, but they are not starting with the, I would say, roll mid opening here for XP. They are playing the traditional front to front with two-man mid rotation coming from both sides.
Yeah, quite strange considering we saw Red Esports do this in the previous game, and now we can see that Maul is going to be a little bit behind on XP compared to Pancake. But it doesn't seem they want to go for anything too aggressive anyway, so it's still going to be pretty fine for now. I'm not gonna expect anything too extreme in the first few minutes, because both these teams do want to take a little bit of time to scale.
Yeah, but at the same time here, we are going to see a little bit of an invades coming in. Mao is looking for the setup, and it's happened here.
In trouble, onward, Earth Shatter into the Void Crystal. Already forced to use the Flicker pretty early on. Not going to have that available for the turtle fight.
Yep, at the same time, Ren QD is dropping a little bit low here. He might actually die to this.
So a nice Petrify to keep Skies locked down. Decimate doesn't get it, but Skies will still finish off Ren QT for first blood as Super Zack encounters Exhort in the jungle. Looks like they're not gonna prolong this. They just want to control the turtle pit.
Now this is huge. You know, this is what Selangor Red Giants likes to do. They always like to cut rotations, and they are able to get a nice, very, very pick off. And because of this, they are able to get a lot more space throughout the map. And very even 2 minutes of the game, they've already gotten themselves a 700 gold lead. But the question here is, the turtle fight is about to begin, and this time turtle control is in Red Esports' favor.
Pancake gonna block out the turtle, force the reset. Gojes almost gets caught, but he's able to dash out in time. Turtle reset, and the real world manipulation has been used pretty early on. Red Giants can actually take this slow. Meanwhile, you see Super Skies. He's not even here. He's stealing away the orange buff. Do they want to just give this away? Red Giants trying to delay this for as long as possible. I don't think it's going to be long enough for Skies to get here, though. So, Amal gets an easy turtle.
Wow, preemptive Wave Dragon as well, just to actually counter them all. But bottom lane though.
Yeah, Melboy going to be the target. Super Skies, he's not there for the turtle, but he sure is here for the carry. As Super Red is fed a pretty early kill. And look, there's 2 gold minions there that Melboy will no longer be able to get.
That was very nice coming from Super Sekis here. He didn't actually opt to go in for the last hits. He actually dispositioned Melboy in order to allow Super Red to actually chain for a potential crossbow of tanks. And that was very nice because regardless of what happened, Melboy would not have survived that because of that catch. Nicely done coming from Sekis.
A good combination of abilities, and I love the way that Sky is moving around the map right now. You think that it's obvious he should go for the turtle, but nope, he goes for something else instead. So Red Esports are already going to be put at the back foot. A 1k net worth lead for the Red Giants will put them in a very comfortable spot.
Yep. And now, once again, Red Esports, they are playing from behind. Once again, they're getting a little bit desperate here, but so far, Pancake is doing a fantastic job of just zoning and getting information on this Grok. And that's the problem about having a Grok, right? If you don't get those timings right, the immune CC from Grok is just going to completely block everything. And this is something that I think it's very difficult to actually catch those timings, especially with Pancake right now.
He finds Maul in the bush, goes for the wild charge onto him instead of Melboy, but it still may not work out. He's gonna get caught out by the Edith now. Super Sky is gonna be coming in. Pancake will sacrifice his life, but Sky secures the decimate onto Melboy. Better airstrike onto Maul, double kill onto Amal, and the Red Giants dismantle Red Esports.
That was very nicely done coming from Pancake. That was a sick play here. He knew he was gonna die, and instead of just dying out in the open, he forced Red Esports to commit to the kill, clumped up S3, and immediately set up an ambush for both Super Zack and Super Sekis there to actually capitalize a triple kill. So nicely done from Selangor Red Giants. And Red Esports, they just took the bait.
I really wonder whether Pancake was just like a really 3-dimension mind gaming Red Esports there, because he actually went for that wild charge really early. It seemed obvious that he knew that Maul was there, but he could have waited for his team to get a little closer before going for the full invest. I kind of wonder if he's actually trying to keep them there for as long as possible.
Yep. At the same time, Turtle's going to be in their favor as well. Amal not going to be in the position here. They need to find a way to deal with this, but it's going to be difficult considering that now Selangor Giants turns the tides. They have a 3k lead. Melboy also losing his 1v1 against Super Red. Ooh, Red Esports having a very, very difficult time now.
Super Skies had a very interesting first item there. Never seen yet on a Martis. That is a Brute Force breastplate as his first item. Very interesting choice.
Yeah, you know, mobility is going to be the key, and so far Sekis has been very good in his positioning here. As long as he has those mobility, he is going to be able to distract and buy time to set up for maybe a very, very nice crossbow tank from Super Red. So I guess that's going to be the idea here. But, of course, Red Esports, they seem to be a little bit lost here as they don't really know who they should be focusing right now, because the idea in the drafts is to deal with the Farsa, and so far Super Zack hasn't been in their face at all.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Red Esports has been able to regain control. Wild charge going to miss on Melboy. Fettered airstrike. Ooh, just barely missing that last hit onto Melboy. He would have died if he was 1 pixel higher. Red Giants keeping the pressure on. Melboy cannot farm at all.
Yeah, Selangor Red Giants are just controlling everything from the macro game as well. Super Gorgeous was able to cut off creep wave up top as well. Way far back behind tier 2s, but with the emblems coming in, they do have 3 agilities here, so they are rotating very quickly and efficiently in between lanes to try and play the macro game. And so far, it has given them so much map control right now.
And we've seen the same recipe many times before. Put more attention towards Super Red's side. He gets the tier 1, rotate Gojes over to take control of that lane, no longer having the tier 1. Allow Super Red to start farming mid, farming top. He is truly unlocked now. And this is where the 1-1 will really start snowballing.
Now Super Sekis now just got his Hunter Strike once again, playing the movement speed game. Mobility is going to be the key in order to out-kite Red Esports, which makes a lot of sense because if you think about it here, if you can out-kite Amal, that's going to be the game plan to win. But Mao, oh my goodness, he's actually going to die.
Even the Primal Wrath couldn't save him, but better airstrike. Amal diving the tower. Super Gojes not going to survive being under the real one manipulation for that long, as Amal will just barely live as well. Super Zack not going to be able to finish that off, but Super Red will finish off the tier 1 up top.
But at the same time, Turtle will be secured from the side of Super Sekis, and Super Red also taking the tier 2 as well. So Red Esports, they finally made a move, but it was something that they did not expect. But now an early Black Dragon coming in from Red QT though.
Wild Charge misses entirely from Pancake. That's a bit awkward. Petrify will find him onward, going to miss as well. Super Red is still staying. He's looking for the crossbow of Tank Proc, looking to continue threatening the tower because look what's happening at the bottom lane. Melboy actually wins the 1v1 against Super Zack, but Gojis comes in just to finish him off.
Yep, nicely done there. They were able to trade 1-for-1, but at the same time, Red Esports is still holding on to tier 2 up top, but it will eventually fall. They need more backup here. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
Super Red gonna be threatening Ren QT. Never a good sign when the big dragon is scared away by a little girl hopping around all over the place. And Red Giants are all up in Red Esports' face here. This jungle belongs to them now too. Amal will be able to retreat it away, luckily for him. That'll help them a little bit longer. Onward, gonna find Super Skies. Mortal Coil gets him out of danger. Amal still under Defender Airstrike, still under Crossbow of Tank, spreading over to the rest of Red Esports. And Super Gojos comes in from side. Super Skies with the Decimate connects into the back line, catches out Exort. Super Red dropping low, but he will hop out.
Yep, at the same time, Red Esports, it feels like they're just playing in the hands of Selangor Red Giants' momentum right now. Selangor Red Giants is just completely controlling everything, and now with the AI winning prediction coming in as well, 70% win rate on towards Selangor Red Giants, which makes a lot of sense. But the question here is, can Red Esports drag this into the later stage of the game where Melboy is going to be able to make the comeback, because he is going to be able to shred through this Grok, this annoying Pancake right now from Selangor Red Giants to the dust. But before that actually happens, he's got to need a lot more farm before he actually makes a comeback with this.
The problem with that is that even if Red Esports waits long enough for Melboy to actually get his full build, Red Giants has better scaling. They have 1-1, they have Farsa. Comparatively, Red Esports just doesn't have all that much consistent DPS. So I don't see a way out of this situation for Red Esports.
Yeah, and of course, now with the Lord in the hands of Selangor Red Giants, it is going to be that much more difficult for Red Esports to bounce back unless they get the perfect catch. And so far, Selangor Red Giants, Super Sekis in particular, is just snowballing his way through with his Martins. Level 14 as compared to Amal, who's only level 11 as a jungler right now.
Amal has been getting bullied really heavily. We've already seen this matchup before previously when we saw Homeboys playing with GB on the Brethren versus Amartis as well. And it just did not feel good. So Amal is now on the receiving end of that, and he doesn't even have the experience that we saw from GB. So Red Giants are really running away with this. Pancake, Conceal, looking for something. Lord has collided. Faded Airstrike zoning out. Petrify onto Super Zack, but they're jumping straight in. Decimate. Super Gojis is going to get the kill onto Ren QT. Crossbow of Tag! Super Red with the killing spree! Double kill! Spreads onto Amal. Secures another kill for the Red Giants. And now they're looking for structures.
Yep, at the same time, Super Red Giants, they are going to continue with their inhibitor. Red Esports, they're down to only Exort and Melboy. Looks like it might be over here. Selangor Red Giants, they're going to try to make an attempt now.
Go just try to flicker forward, try to zone them out. Emphasis on tried, but they will succeed in breaking down the crystal. Selangor Red Giants moves to the top of the standings at the end of week 1 with another 2-0 clean sweep.
Nicely done. Coming in from Selangor Red Giants here. A beautiful start on the first week of MPL Malaysia. 2 series, 2 O's, 2 O's, and now against Red Esports. The better Red here. Selangor Red Giants completely bleed out Red Esports here. And of course, Red Esports, they have to go back to the drawing board here. But with their debut match coming in, it was a very, very difficult game for them to actually play though.
It's quite rough for Red Esports. This is a strong lineup. They've had very promising scrim results, but they had the start of the season against one of the most powerful teams heading into Season 12. Red Giants continuing to make a statement here. And Red Esports, I think there's still a lot of potential for them. This was just not their day.
Yep, at the same time, you can see the fans are cheering their minds out here. They're celebrating Selangor Red Giants' victory especially in this first week. A flawless one as well. And I'm curious to see what they have to say as we are about to throw it over to our amazing host, Rose, to have an interview with Selangor Red Giants.
Dan itu dia pasukan yang lebih cerah untuk perlawanan ini ialah Selangor Red Giants. Gorgeous, sini. Sini Gorgeous, sini Gorgeous. Okay, sepatutnya I takkan interview Gorgeous hari ni. Tapi Gorgeous, sekarang dah pandai taunting
Kata nak spicy.
Kata nak spicy. Tunjuk sikit taunting macam mana?
Apa?
Tunjuk sikit taunting tadi macam mana?
Taunting tadi.
Taunting tadi dekat stage.
Taunting tadi saya tunjuk macam oh, Red Esports. No, weak. Need this, Red Giant strong. Yeah, like that.
Setuju ke tak? Setuju. Okay, Gorgeous. Sekali lagi Selangor Red Giants habiskan game dengan 2 berbalas kosong. Adakah ini satu momentum untuk Red Giants in order to qualify for M5?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Sebelum I tanya lagi banyak soalan, are you guys ready for the MVP? Alright. Korang rasa siapa MVP? Alright. 3, 2, 1. Skies! Wow! Okay, sini.
Okay.
Sini.
Alright.
Game 1, Game 2. Dua-dua MVP. Skies. Skies ni lain macam untuk musim ni. Apa yang jadi sebelum musim ni bermula?
Actually, saya lebih semangat sikit untuk season ni nak lawan Red Esports sebab saya ada sikit-sikit kata-kata lah untuk Red Esports. Saya rasa korang dah boleh tukar warna lain kot sebab warna merah Red Giant je layak.
Okay. I like the brief I gave them. Kata nak spicy, diorang bagi spicy. But, in case you guys didn't know, sebelum match ni bermula, I buat TikTok tadi dengan Pancake dan juga Super Red. And Pancake ada request. If we win against Red Esports, I want to say something to Exhort. So here you go.
I think for Exhort, he cannot win without his previous teammate. So go back in Philippines.
Okay. Whoa. All right. Okay. Any last words to your fans? Okay, coach. Let's give it to the coach. Hopefully it's not that spicy.
Thank you to all our fans, to all Red Giants fans, and also to all our bosses. Thank you guys for coming here and supporting us. I hope that we will always give our best. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for being here, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Selangor Red Giants. Congratulations. Once again, a round of applause. All right. Thank you. Thank you. And now, how about we throw it to the caster to break down what happened in this clean sweep of best of 3. Casters, dipersilakan.
Ooh, well, seems like all that time being in the same room together didn't just create some super stinky, but also some super heated throws right there. Being able to call out the members of Red Esports and Super Red, even calling out Exhort directly. Wow, that is something.
Yeah, that is definitely something indeed. But at the same time here, the MVP here, Sekis, he has had a match KD of 10, 1, and 12 out of both games. Only died a single time, I guess, with a match kill position of 73%. And so far, he's been playing really, really well. And based on these emblems here, it's interesting because we are leaning towards a tank jungler, but at the same time, it is diverse in the sense where because of how he plays and understands what he needs to do, he's able to do both regardless of damage or jungle. So I'm curious to see how he does it as we jump into a mic check with them.
Reset. Oh, no, santai.
I can take that.
Okay. I got this, Sade.
No thief, guys. No thief.
Just do what you want. I got this.
Picker, Kari.
Nice! Bantay. Can I reset dulu? I don't have mana.
Okay. Chill lang, guys. Chill. Select. I think just they cannot.
Easy, bro.
Nice one, guys. Me, guys. No. Nice one, guys. Chill lang. Nice one. Considering how spicy their comments were during the interview, it's surprising just how disciplined their call-outs are when they're in-game. Even though they're in complete control, they're not being aggressive, they're not overextending, they know exactly what it is that needs to be done, and they're communicating properly, which probably is why this match ended in only 11 minutes.
Yep, of course, Pancake, he played really well here. He's pretty much the backbone of the team with shot calling, deciding, hey, how we're going to be doing this, and then they take a fight. So nice calls here coming from Pancake, but eventually we are going to be talking about the itemizations coming from both sides here. Super Sekis, he obviously went for the Brute Force Breastplate as a first item choice before going in towards the Hunter Strike. So that was very interesting considering the fact that that's not a very common item.
But it's not at all.
Considering how quick Selangor Red Giants has been rotating throughout the map and also getting a little bit of a snowball lead and taking advantage that they have 3 agilities coming from Super Goldjazz, Super Zack, and and Pancake. They're hoping to try and punish Red Esports' misplays, and there was this one time they actually did, because without all these little mobilities, there was no way they were able to set up a 3-man ambush down bottom, punishing 3 players from Red Esports with Pancake setting up as bait, and the only time that Pancake has died.
It does seem like Red Giants likes to prioritize mobility, considering how many of them took the agility emblem, going for movement speed items, and Red Esports unfortunately just didn't seem to be able to catch up, despite the fact that there's 3 quantum charges on their side as well.
That's the thing about quantum charge, right? Like, it does give you a little bit of sustains, you know, like whenever you basic attack, you have some chance to actually get yourself some health, you have a little bit more mobility, but that is if you are attacking. So midway rotations, I don't think you are going to be able to keep up against an agility design composition in terms of emblem. And on top of it all, they don't really have innate kits as a heroes to actually catch up to them in terms of mid rotation. So I would say the reason why Red Esports kind of lost to this fight is because of the fact that Selangor Red Giants just out-rotated Red Esports on every single front from the early to mid game.
Yeah, one of the scariest parts about the Selangor Red Giants is how we see they adapt to teams, even on the international stage. When we watched them during the Snapdragon series, whenever they lost a game, there seemed to be an instant shift in mindset for the next one. And even during their victories, we see that too. In Game 1, the early stages were actually pretty close. Red Esports got some pretty good catches, they got some good team fights in response, but in Game 2, it seemed like Red Giants instantly understood their opponents and could just run them over.
Agreed. But at the same time here, damage output here, obviously Super Red is going to be topping here, which is kind of surprising considering that he was able to win 1v1s all the way through again. Melboy, ever since that one successful gank down bottom. But I'm curious to see when it comes to rotations, right? We have to see the heat maps coming in from both sides, and that is going to be between Melboy as well as Super Red. As you can see, Super Red obviously has been farming his way through. He does take away neutral objectives, which is very interesting because normally neutral objectives are left for junglers. But in this particular way, considering how Super Seconds is just overwhelming the enemy's jungle, which is in Red Esports' side, he is able to take the other side's jungle when there is just no creeps or any other objectives for him to counter to power farm his way through.
Yeah, Super Red was just given so much space this game to farm, and I really love the way that Red Giants play. It's very textbook and very effective. You see that they put a lot of attention towards the gold lane. Super Red freezes, baits out Melboy, lets him get caught out. Once they are able to kill him enough, break down the tier 1, he rotates, he switches lane to the other side of the map, breaks down all the towers in the EXP lane, farms the mid lane, and you can see exactly why his GPM was so high there in the highlights for game number 2.
As you can see, this was what I meant. The first successful gank that kind of allowed Super Red to get his farm his way through. And ever since then, whenever they're trying to take a fight down bottom, and this was the turning point for Super Red. This was where everything went south. Because in terms of mobility-wise, Super Red Giants, because they had those additional mobility, they were able to catch up and then set up for this big clamp and clash that got them that triple kill. And ever since they got that kill, it just snowballed out of control in favor of Super Red Giants. And every single time they take a fight, Red Esports just had no way to react. And even if they do, they were already playing from a position where they have to disengage rather than counter-engage.
That's absolutely right. Unfortunately, Red Esports has a comp that wants to be able to catch people. They have an Edith, but every single time it's guys walking in, he starts with the Mortal Coil. You can't toss him. He has Brute Force Breastplate, so he can run straight out. It's so smart the way that these players play and itemize. And because of that, Selangor Red Giants now top the charts with a clean win streak in week 1 of Season 12.
Well, this is a very, very big statement here coming from Selangor Red Giants. We talked about it here since their debut coming in from Snapdragon Pro Series. We were like, oh, nobody expected Selangor Red Giants to do that well during SPS. And guess what? They're here saying that it's the first week. We get to, we're number 1 right now. However, once again, it is the regular season. Giants. It is MPL for a reason. Anything can happen. In this case, it's going to be a good sign for Selangor Red Giants fans because this is not a team we would expect to be in number 1 right from the get-go.
Well, in the previous season, that's definitely what we would thought. But this season coming in as one of the favorites with a lot of fans backing them up thanks to their performance in Season 11 on the international stage. I feel like Red Giants has not just dominated the stage, but it's also dominated our hearts. Just like you can dominate the Land of Dawn like a champion with ROG Phone 7, where you can win lanes and push your ranked matches with a powerful phone device. The ROG Phone 7 going to be available for all of you guys if you're looking to really improve on your gameplay and make sure that all of your flashy plays are even cleaner and flashier than before.
Exactly. And of course, you know, when it comes to playing all these games here, I know you guys are excited for the games here. 2-0s thus far. But guess what? Coming up next is going to be another interesting one here. Your favorites, your defending champions, a 3-time champion MPL title, 4-time M Series attendee, Todak, going up against Team Secret, who, in this case, Team Secret has been looking for their first victory. Can they take it against Todak?
Team Secret in a pretty tricky spot right now on a big lose streak, even extending from the previous season. Todak, though, with a brand new lineup, has not been exactly doing the best we would expect from them, so I think we're expecting a little more, but we're gonna go on a short break. When we come back, it's gonna be the final match of the day.
Been slain. Enemy unstoppable. Defeat.